Cola. I'm glad to get the opportunity, first of all, to say a few words about the late, great Micheál Murray-Hurtig, a great Kerry man who had a unique voice, and he created excitement in all the games that he commentated on. It was better than actually watch it on the television when he commentated on the radio, because there was more drama. He created the excitement, and he knew so much about hurling and football and about the players that were playing it and the rules and whatever. He was a powerful man, a powerhouse of a man, and we wish to send our condolences to his wife Helena and his family and his extended family in Dingle, and all his friends, of course, in Kerry and right around the country and across all the whole world. He was a powerful man. And I just want to say a word about to Micheál McGrath, who's departing for Europe. All I'll say is it's Europe's gain and it's our loss here that he's leaving this chamber, because we all depended and relied on him so much. Of course, Natasha O'Brien, who had to come in here today, we sympathise with her horrible treatment that she has been receiving. Taoiseach, I wish to raise again issues about people who try to do the basic thing to provide a home for themselves. And many of them who try to get planning are being refused, because there's a designation in Kerry, I'm sure it is around the country, that areas that are designated as being under significant urban generated pressure. It's denying people building on an acre or two close to where they were bred, born and reared, as well as the people that is designed to stop of coming out from towns and cities. And outside Killarney, Killarney, 4 and 5 miles and 7 miles east of Killarney, a girl that wanted to build beside her father and mother won't get permission there, even though she's only half a mile away from where she got aside from where she was born and reared. I mean, the only people, and we're glad that they get it, is farmers' sons and daughters, but local people are being denied as well by this rule. And we don't begrudge the farmers, because sons and daughters, because we need them to have a house the same as anyone else. So, and then the other issues. If you live along a national secondary or a national primary road, or you want to build a new house and come out, I've raised these issues before Minister Taoiseach several times. If you want to come out on a national primary road on an existing exit or entrance, you will be refused forthwith, and the same in the national secondary. We have 98 kilometres of national primary roads. We have 337 kilometres of national secondary roads. I believe we're more than many other counties. And then we have the planning regulator, has now come back to Kerry County Council asking that the elected members of the Kenmare electoral area reduce the amounts of lands that they have proposed to be zoned residential in South Kerry onto the towns of Kenmare, Sneem, Waterville, Carsaveen, Valentia, Glenbeigh and Killarney. I believe that the planning regulator is wrong, as if there is no competition in the market and lesser amount of lands are zoned available, will mean that certain landowners will have a monopoly and can drive up the cost of a site or sites. Taoiseach, these things have to be rectified. You're talking here about affordable homes, and if the word affordable was a concrete block, it would build a building as tall as the Empire State Building in America, because the word has been mentioned. But these people have a site, and that they get from their parents or get locally, and it's affordable, and it gives them a start. We have to do something to give these people a chance. Right. The blockage that's there at the present time is hurting so many sons and daughters that want to get going.
Taoiseach. Well, thanks very much, Ceann Comhairle, and thank you very much to Deputy Healy-Rae for raising this issue. And I must say, I very much enjoyed your tribute to Micheál Murray Kertig, and I think that idea that listening to the match on the radio was more enjoyable than watching it on the television probably does capture the essence of many people's experience and memory. Look, thank you so much for raising this important issues. Look, I think everybody in this House, or certainly most people in this House, want to see a balanced approach to rural housing. You're pointing out to people who are doing their best to put a roof over the head of their family or their son or their daughter and provide for themselves. And you know, we need to see a situation where people are facilitated to try and build on their own land and also remain consistent to national spatial planning policy, and also things like access to services, sewers and other important facilities as well. Now, I'm aware, and you listed quite a number of places there in your constituency. My understanding is the draft ministerial direction for the Kenmare Municipal District Local Area Plan was put out to public consultation from the 6th of June to the 20th of June. So in other words, that's just closed, and that the Chief Executive is now going to review these submissions and report back to the Office of the Planning Regulator, and this has to be done within 4 weeks of the 20th of June. The Office of the Planning Regulator then considers the Chief Executive's report and has to report back to the Minister within 3 weeks, and the Minister then has 6 weeks to issue a final decision, having received the reports from both the Chief Executive of the Council and the Planning Regulator. I think this kind of activity should now be seen as a routine part of our planning processes as well. 4 local area directions have issued so far this year, with final directions issued for Letterkenny, Castlebar and Athenry. So I'm sure the Deputy will agree, and he wouldn't ask me to intervene in that process that's ongoing, because it has just gone out to public consultation and has some way to go. Look, I hear what you're saying in relation to the Office of the Planning Regulator. We need to, I suppose, remember how we got there. The Office of the Planning Regulator was established in 2019. It was on foot of recommendations made by a tribunal of inquiry into certain planning matters and payments called the Mahon Tribunal, and its role is to ensure that the local authorities and An Bord Pleanála do support and implement national planning policy. It also has a role in planning research, in training and in public awareness to promote the public's engagement on the planning process as well. When it comes to rural housing, updated rural housing guidelines are currently being prepared by the Department of Housing, and these updated guidelines will expand on existing policy in the National Planning Framework, which relates to rural housing as well. We will also have, I should make the point, Ceann Comhairle, we will also have later this year new housing targets and a National Planning Framework, which will, I think, begin to give us a level of granular detail as to what that means for County Kerry or county anywhere else in Ireland as well, and that might be useful in addressing some of the issues the Deputy raises.
Reply, but I'm asking you now again, can he do something about this clause, significant urban generated pressure that's annoying so many people planning permission? And these people are asking for nothing else only to get fair play, and they're not getting it at the present time. And they're asking, they'll build the house, they'll pay for it, and they'll create employment. They'll do that all themselves. And you see, the thing about the national roads, we've asked about that several times before, and that rule was implemented in 2012, and it has created havoc amongst many people that want to come out an existing entrance, not create a new entrance, and to come out a safe entrance. But you needn't apply the same, like the planner told me this morning. The person that wanted to build in this area that's under this designation, no, you needn't bother applying. There's no hope in the world. And in relation to the zoning, and I think that I don't see any need for zoning land at all around towns or villages. Only let the planning authority decide whether the site is due planning or should get planning on its own merits, whether the services are there and all that goes with that. But I think the zoning is only creating another layer, and it is making property dearer and sites more expensive, and denying people the chance of buying an affordable house.
Peter, to conclude, please.
Thanks again to Deputy Healy-Rae, Ciaran Corla. And look, what I'll ask is that the points you've made are fed into the consideration being given to the Minister for the updated rural housing guidelines, which are currently being prepared by the Department of Housing. The draft rural housing guidelines do set out the relevant planning criteria to be applied in local authority development plans for rural housing, and that's based on the high-level policy framework set out by the National Planning Framework. We will have a new National Planning Framework later this year as well. And in relation then to the other issues specific to Kenmare, obviously that local area plan now will go through the various processes that I outlined in my earlier answer. So I hope those two processes, both the rural housing guidelines and indeed the Kenmare Municipal District local area plan, can address some of the issues that you've brought to the Dáil today.